Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the 2022 Mars and Aquarius transit. Now, Mars is going to transit Aquarius from March 6, 2022 until April 15th, 2022. Now, this can be a very busy and active time for astrologers, astronomers, computer programmers, electricians, electronic workers, humanitarians, aviators, and even meteorologists. Now, I would say even innovators, I want to add, of course, to that. And since this falls in the third, let's say, for example, if this falls in one's third house, it could be um, somebody being very busy diagnosing. It could be electrical, electronic, computer issues with the vehicle. There may be much more activity for many in groups, clubs, and organizations. And keep in mind, the COVID variant may still be prevalent in some areas, but in some areas it may be starting to die down. So this is a opportune time, naturally for people to be more involved and active in group related situations where it could be a sport team, it could be a computer or a science group or club or whatever it may be. This is a time where I could see more activity in those things. Now also too, there may be more battles associated with Aquarius related issues, or would say subjects, lack of a better word. It could be battles in the astrological community. They may be more prevalent. There may be a proliferation of cyber war. Now, as many of you may know, Ukraine and Russia are currently at war. Russia may be trying to hack into Ukrainian computer databases. Now, it's possible that countries that may have been allies previously can have differences and disparities at this time. There may be more engagement and interest in in the internet at this time. There may be more fights between friends, situations in groups. Maybe, I should say, situations in groups for many may be more contentious than usual. And also, too, there may be more of an interest in unusual sexual activities. More people may be interested in doing something unorthodox associated with sex. There may be more of a desire for freedom in sexual related matters, and cyber sex may be more prominent during this transit. Now, another thing, I could see more agitation over freedom related issues. Again, going back to the COVID variant, um, may likely still be prevalent, at least in some areas of the world. Um, People may be becoming really upset at this time, more so than usual, over their freedom being inhibited. It might be starting to reach a breaking point for many. Now, they may feel more restrictions when Saturn actually makes the conjunction to Mars during this transit. Now, also too, many may be very driven and motivated toward the future, goals and aspirations at this time. It may be There may be more initiative in expressing ingenuity at this time. Mars is also associated with courage and fortitude. So people may have more courage in expressing ingenious and innovative ideas at this time. Now, when Mars was in Capricorn, it was more about actions, I would say, using conventional orthodox methods. Now, transitioning into Aquarius, it could be just the opposite. Many may be more brave in trying something unique, using more unorthodox and unique methods of doing things. Now, for many, it may simply be having a lot of courage and fortitude to pursue one's future. And it's interesting, as far as my chart specifically, this is going to make the transit of Mars and Aquarius will be making an inconjunct aspect to my natal Mercury in Cancer at the beginning part of the transit. Um, Now, in conjunction astrology can often be about adjustments. Now, I may want to take action, which is Mars, in moving towards the future goals and aspirations, which is Aquarius. Is going to be in my 10th house. Um, it'll be conjunct um, the 10th house cusp during the time when it first makes the aspect to my in conjunct aspect to my natal Mercury in Cancer. It's actually going to be in the 9th house, but either way, I mean, it's going to transit Mars in Aquarius when it makes the in conjunct aspect to my natal Mercury in Cancer. It will be either conjunct the 10th house cusp from the 9th house or in the 10th house. So the 10th house will be emphasized, the career, the astrological career, I would say, very likely. And the thing about it is, again, it could be about the adjustment, about trying to take action, moving toward the future, in goals and aspirations, and being the 10th house being prominent and really involved in something career related, and that between that and also dwelling in the past, which could be connected with the Mercury in Cancer, or being too despondent over my own personal issues, and that could cause difficulty in taking action and moving toward the future. It could be too much. When I say in conjuncts can be about an adjustment, it could be too much of one thing or the other. Too much of one part of the aspect or too much of the other. In my case, maybe it could be too much being overly despondent or disconsolate regarding my own personal issues, dwelling in the past, mine being in the past, and making it more difficult to take action to proceed toward the future. Could be a possibility. Now, another thing is that Mars is also associated with injuries. I'm just going to look at this chart a little bit more here, people. Just bear with me a second, a few seconds maybe. And the thing about it is, again, Mars is associated with injuries. So some of you sports fans may know March Madness is going to fall in part of this transit. Now, participants in the NCAA college basketball men's tournament may have more injuries than usual to the calves, the ankles, the shins, and the nerves at this time. Now, these injuries, of course, are not limited to NCAA men's college basketball players. This could be universal for people just in general around the world. Now, also, too, keep in mind that Mars is connected with surgery. There may be more surgical procedures on the ankles, shins, calves, and lower legs at this time. Also, there may be more innovative surgical procedures. I don't know if they exist at this time, but I read somewhere one time that they were having like these microbots that would actually be going into the person's body, and it would perform surgery. I don't know if that's actually come to fruition at this point or not. But anyway, you can confer that on the internet. But another thing to keep in mind are that accidents are also associated with Mars. There may be more unusual accidents during this transit. Now, for example, like a computer controlled boring machine unpredictably restarting and injuring a worker, or like someone's hair getting stuck in a robotic vacuum. Those are very bizarre accidents, and they involve things that are associated with the zodiac sign, Aquarius, computers, robotics. Now, another thing too is that keep in mind Mars is also associated with leadership. Now, this could be a very positive time for demonstrating leadership ability. Could be in a group, a club, or organization. It could be amongst your friends. It could be simply taking initiative and showing, really in showing others by, through perhaps example. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now look at this a little bit more. See something else in this transit. Now, let's say, for example, if it falls in the 6th house, this transit of Mars in Aquarius, it could be simply showing leadership prowess and ability at the place of employment. Or leadership prowess may also be expressed at this time. It could be through something with computers, electronics, astrology, or it could be through some kind of humanitarian or altruistic endeavors. Now, another thing too, another auspicious time for this transit can be when it makes a sextile aspect to Chiron and Aries. Now, the transit by itself, the transit of Mars making a sextile aspect to Chiron, can be beneficial in taking action, in helping and healing others. Now, Mars in Aquarius may take the initiative through selfless and altruistic actions. Now, when Chiron being in Aries, it can be also through helping others, dealing with issues of unworthiness. Now, it could be others that might be physically hurt in some cases. Remember that Chiron is not limited to emotional wounds. Chiron astrology can also be about physical related issues. And it may also be a time where you could be encouraging others to be progressive and forward moving, which is Aquarius, and encouraging others just to be unique, because Chiron and Aries can also be expressed in people collectively maybe having some identity issues, or maybe suffering with that at this time. Now, another thing, and another time, which might be, it is considered an adverse aspect, could be an exasperating time of this transit, can be when it makes the square to Uranus and Taurus. Now, it could manifest in being conflicted, having a conflict, and taking action and moving toward the future, which is Mars in Aquarius, versus could be dealing with friendships and groups, which is Uranus, that may be stagnant, monotonous, or very unwavering, which is Taurus. Now, Mars in Aquarius by itself can indicate unpredictable outbursts of anger. Now, the fact it's making a square to Uranus may intensify this, could make it really where during this time you may see more very unpredictable, shocking outbursts of anger, and also where the energy in general of others can be very erratic and sporadic at this time. And it may also be where bizarre and unexpected actions, which is Mars in Aquarius, may conflict with groups that want peace and tranquility, which is Uranus and Taurus. Now, also another way this may manifest can be in taking action toward the future, which is Mars in Aquarius may be challenged by financial fluctuations and unstable monetary situation in general, which is Uranus and Taurus. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.